What's up, guys? RBT is back with another live stream. It's Monday, so the boys got to be here talking some football, some Bucs football, some NFC South news. There's a couple things to go over. The draft is right around the corner. But before we touch on all that, I'm Mark Ramirez, as always, as your host, joined, as always, my good man, Michael Pless. Pless, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Mark. Everything is fantastic right now. It's April. That means the NFL draft is at the end of this month, and couldn't be more happy or excited to see, just the process that's going to go down. And we're starting to see everything shape up. Like you said, these trades are really dictating where players are going to go. It looks like a lot of quarterbacks are going to go early. So, those top guys as far as the quarterback position are going to get gobbled up here pretty quick, so it's going to be fun to see where everyone lands.
Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. I mean, it's only been a week since we kind of talked news, but I guess let's address some of the questions in the chat before we go into our normal scripted kind of thing in news. I guess because it kind of relates. So Bud Cannibal over here in the chat. Do you guys think now that Carolina has Darnold, should we inquire about Bridgewater coming to Tampa? That's a big one. But before we get into that, so he was mentioning how now that Sam Darnold is in Carolina. So let's talk about that. New York Jets trade QB Sam Darnold to Carolina Panthers for 3 draft picks. You read that, you're like, oh, they get a whole bunch of firsts. I didn't get that. All they got was a second-round pick next year, 4th rounder next year. You can see right here. And a 6th-round pick this year.
Right.
That seems so cheap for a number 3 overall pick. But so the Panthers pick up Sam Darnold, number 3 overall quarterback in 2018. This was the final year under Todd Bowles.
Correct.
So not a good record. I couldn't believe they fired Bowles with a rookie quarterback. You can see his numbers on the screen. Not the best, but I mean he's had crap to work with mainly. So what is your opinion on, first of all, Sam Darnold joining the NFC South, which I think it's going to be hell for him, but what do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm sure he's happy. It's a much better situation than New York is right now because of just, they're rebuilding and they have a lot of pieces that they have to add. And you come to an offense, in Carolina that has, something to work with. You got Christian McCaffrey, so you can hand the ball off and, be, maybe more efficient because you have a running game. And then also, you look at the receiving core that they have, DJ Moore's a consistent guy that can get open. You have Ronnie, is it Ronnie Anderson? Yeah, Ronnie Anderson, the receiver. Yeah, so they have him and, so you got some pieces. But as far as Sam goes, I mean, it's just going to be interesting to see what Joe Brady, the offense coordinator, can do with him. And, can he make him better? He's had a lot of inconsistency with New York as far as coordinators and offensive lines and pieces going everywhere. So it'll just remain to be seen. But I mean, he's facing a tough defense coming up in Tampa Bay twice a year. A team that's going to get after him and blitz him constantly. So it should be fun. And as far as Teddy Bridgewater, if we can, I guess, answer that. I don't know. I don't see him as a potential backup option for us. I mean, he's got a big contract, so I don't know if he gets cut. I don't know if they eat that money, and maybe he signs cheap for somewhere else. I mean, if he's a free agent, maybe you look into it, but I wouldn't trade for him. I wouldn't offer up assets.
I mean, this is his final year of his 2-year deal. So, yeah, do they cut him, or do they keep him, just have a competition between Darnold and him? I think Bridgewater did okay last year. I don't see how you think Darnold's going to be the one that pushes him over the top or pushes him out of his position. I think Bridgewater is more than okay, especially with a new offense instilled, new coach, new everything.
Yeah.
Plus his defense wasn't good either. Just not to mention that. But I mean, I think you weigh down the decision. I wouldn't trade for anything right now. I mean, the Bucs are sitting pretty. Don't mess with anything right now with your personnel. And with Darnold, I just think, Bowles took him. He knows him. It was only 1 year. I think he would know how to rattle him the most. Sam Darnold had that game against Patriots where they said he was seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
Someone could do that. I think it's Todd Bowles in this defense. So I kind of feel bad for him a little bit. Oops. Well, new quarterback, new blood. I mean, there were even rumors of us trying to go after him. I don't know if that was just fans, if that was fake Twitter accounts. I don't know what it was, but that is what
it's just it's just funny how quickly the NFC quarterback or the NFC South quarterbacks have changed so rapidly. It's like, the Bucs have Tom Brady. Okay, that's probably the best quarterback in the division now. And then you look at the Saints, whether it's going to be Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill. That's a toss up. It's like, what are they doing? And then you look at obviously Atlanta is still with Matt Ryan, who's still consistent, I think, and still a very good player, a guy that's still a threat and someone you have to worry about. But are they going to draft a quarterback? That remains to be seen. Or are they going to take someone that they can develop or, maybe take over this year? And now with Carolina, you look at Sam Darnold and, potentially, what do they do with Teddy Bridgewater? That remains to be seen. Do they take a quarterback still at 8 overall? So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. But what we do know is quarterbacks are going to go early in this draft. And it looks like 1 through 3 is pretty much a lock, with San Francisco moving up, trading 3 first-round picks and being very aggressive.
It's going up for kicker plus.
Yeah, a kicker, that would be something. And also, the rumor is Mac Jones. I don't know if they take Mac Jones, but man, it'd be something to see. So a lot of storylines, and this is what makes NFL so great. So it's gonna be really fun here coming up soon.
Absolutely, the drama of it, I love it. I mean, it's almost every week there's some big trade or big up and down. Before we talk the draft, let's do one more buck in the news, I guess. Let's talk here. Praj P says we want B. Not signing him is going to allow other defenses to double team. And he also goes on, it is better with AB. So a couple other people kind of touched on it. So the news about Antonio Brown, let's think about it. He says Buccaneers, Antonio Brown departure doesn't hurt. He was actually not close to inking a deal. We heard that earlier. And then today, 10 hours ago, Russell Wilson once again wants the Seattle Seahawks to sign Antonio Brown. I think that's the first time we've actually heard someone else other than the Bucs, Luke, I guess, keyed in with Antonio Brown's name. I agree. Antonio Brown coming back, it's better for Brown, the team, everything else. But we are also the one, Praj P says he's worth it. So this is how I sum it up. Like, is he going to slow down the development of everyone else behind him? Because we do have Scotty Miller, who was doing pretty dang good before Antonio Brown got here. Rating him clicking. Tyler Johnson showed a whole lot in the playoffs, a little bit at the end of the season. So those are guys that could develop. Hell, we could even draft a guy again this year. Say it's at number 32, or if we trade back, there's the best player available is a Rondale Moore or Elijah Moore, one of these guys that are electric. It can do like running back, wide receiver, anything. It's a possibility. You got to think about that. So with this AB thing, I think you just wait it out. If he wants to go somewhere else, let him go. I mean, we don't need him. I mean, I think Praj P like really, really wants AB back. I mean, I think it's best for him, best for Antonio Brown, but I think it's not a need for the Buccaneers. It's more wait and see. If nothing's there, okay, Antonio, come on back. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the Bucs are just waiting it out. Obviously the money is different right now between both parties. AB wants a little bit more than the Bucs are willing to give. Even AB went out today and he tweeted, I think he subtweeted the Buccaneers. He's like, please sign me, Buccaneers, or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, he said that today. So I think it shows like, he wants to be here. The Bucs probably want him back as well. But again, it's just a numbers thing where, they're just not meeting eye to eye yet. So yeah, you just be patient. You let it play out. They'll probably wait till, I'm sure, after the draft and, see where they are at, and go from there. But I'm not against, Jason Light always drafts receivers. It seems like every year. So, I think they're in a good position no matter what. Again, the Bucs are going to do what's best for the team, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. So also, we're just TB12 Goat Band said there's no better number 3 guy in the league, and he has everything to be the 1 or 2 if someone gets hurt. No doubt. No doubt. I mean, he was one of the top 3 or 4 best receivers before he went on his rampage. Okay, guys, there's no doubt about that. That's never questioned his ability or his talent. It's just more, do the Bucs really need that? I mean, you have a guy you just franchise tagged who you're saying is a franchise player in Chris Godwin. You have literally a guy breaking records, like forever records, in Mike Evans.
Yeah.
You can't just say, okay, well, yeah, just throw him in there. I mean, he deserves to be a targeted guy too, and the ball can only go around to so many hands, right? Only so many. So I don't know. I mean, it's a wait and see game to me. If he wants to be here, it'll get done. It's just, like you said, a numbers game.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think it's just a matter of time before it gets completed. They're just, again, they do contracts as they go. So that, if they have to make money, that's what they're working on now. And, it just, again, everything is going to be fluid. You're going to see a lot more available guys, or the guys that are available now, they're going to become more cheap as the year goes on because they got to find somewhere to play. So there's going to be options, for these guys to pick them up.
Hey, guys, don't make it seem like we don't want them here. I mean, this offense would be electric. I mean, it already is.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want 60 points a game?
Yeah. I think the bottom line that we're both saying is like the Bucs are in a great position either way. Like if he doesn't come back, we're okay. If he does come back, great. But it's not like we're panicking or it's something where we have to do it. Yeah,
I agree. And then someone said Godwin and Evans need an AB to pick up the slack. And there is slack. I'll be so happy when AB signs. It would be awesome. Yeah, so probably exactly 60 points. But the thing is, Scotty Miller, what's to say he can't pick up the slack, or Tyler Johnson? I mean, yes, AB is a great player. When given opportunities, let's see what all these other guys can be too. So you can't just look what Rojo turned into when you gave him opportunities. Let's see what Keyshawn Vaughn can be. Opportunities. So it's more stuff like that. I mean, Scotty took a huge jump from year 1 to year 2. Imagine Tyler Johnson taking that jump. Imagine Scotty going from 2 to 3.
Yeah. And another point is it looks like they're going to get, an off season this year. So it looks like they're going to be able to actually work out and, get on the field and have practices, have some OTAs, which, a lot of these guys didn't have. So you look at the growth that these people can, produce, especially like Devin White, and you look at like Sean Murphy-Bunting, all the young guys on defense and then on offense. So, it's really encouraging. So I think that's why, BA talked about Keyshawn Vaughn. He was very excited about him, his ability to take that jump. And same thing with Rojo as well. I think he's got another gear that we haven't seen yet, and hopefully he takes it, to another level, especially catching the football.
Absolutely. The guy's gotten better every year. Hands down, he has. Another Buck in the news, Mr. Ndamukong Suh. He spoke today. What did he say? Tampa was always the ultimate goal, says Ndamukong Suh. I love playing in Coach Bull's defense. So Ndamukong Suh back, that middle of that defense, powerful, huge, everything we really wanted back in the front seven. What do you think about Ndamukong Suh speaking today?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's great that it's official. I think, what he said made a lot of sense. He's played really good football in Todd Bowles' defense. He's a big part of it. So him and Vita Vea, together is quite the force. So, I mean, we talked about it, when the offseason started, it's like, oh yeah, we need Ndamukong Suh back. Like he's a key part, him, Shaq Barrett, et cetera, so it's just very nice that they got it done. And can't wait to see him have a really good, hopefully another good year like he did last year and put up great numbers.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, it's I like talking about Scooter and Tyler Johnson and AB conversation. I mean, we can go all night on that one, but let's keep pushing forward. So we wanted to talk about the draft that's coming up. You see all of our draft prospect breakdowns. We're pushing as much as we can every day. It almost feels like. So I hope you guys appreciate that. If you do, give us a like button on the video here. I mean, if you're watching the videos, go ahead and help us out. Support the channel. But let's talk about that draft. Let's talk about how Mike was saying the first 3, possibly 4 picks could be quarterbacks, all quarterbacks. And how did it come to fruition? Let's take a peek at this. Like, I still can't believe this. So I'm looking at this. Yeah, the Jaguars had the first pick. That's set in stone. Jets second. The Dolphins had the 3, and they had it because of Laramie Tunsil trade with the Texans. I still can't believe that. It's insane to me. So the Texans don't even have a first-round pick. And now sits the San Francisco 49ers because they traded all the way up to number 3, literally giving away everything to the Dolphins. And then the Dolphins came back up and traded with the Eagles to give the Eagles a whole crap ton of more picks too. Next year's 2022. So I guess plus run down sees happening. I mean, because number 4 is the Falcons. You just said, yeah, Matt Ryan, I think he's 37, 38, 37, I believe. And people are like, oh, then I think we get just based on the 1 year of Tom Brady enamored by, oh, he's 43. Everyone can do this. Not everyone can do that. Yeah. So I think some people are maybe seeing that of Matt Ryan. So a rundown of this top 4 possible quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, you look at Jacksonville, obviously they're going to take Trevor Lawrence. That was pretty much locked in, set in stone. And then you look at the Jets, and there was some, maybe thoughts about, continuing with Sam Darnold and, maybe building around him, adding a Penei Sewell and, building up that offensive line. But, they're enamored with Zach Wilson, and Zach Wilson's a perfect fit for what, the Jets offense wants to do. Again, it's very similar to that Kyle Shanahan type of, play action, bootleg, run heavy, wide zone type of offense where, you can move your quarterback around and give him, high percentage throws. So it makes sense for a guy like Zach Wilson to go there. So that looks like your top 2 picks. And then really, number 3, Miami wasn't in a position to, it didn't make sense for them to really take a receiver or skills, type of position there. So they were pretty much offering that pickup, and San Francisco's looking to upgrade at quarterback. They want a better fit than maybe Jimmy Garoppolo, and Jimmy's struggled with injuries, so they felt a need to go up and get past number 4 and get into that 3rd slot, so you can get a choice of the best of remaining quarterbacks, whether it be Justin Fields or Mac Jones or Trey Lance. It's going to be interesting to see which way they go. A lot of people are saying Trey Lance, which I could see. I think that's a really good fit for that scheme. And
the 49ers right now?
Yeah, 49ers. I think a lot of people are talking about Trey Lance. I mean, again, the other rumor is Mac Jones, but I don't know. I mean, Mac Jones might be a better version of Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think the upside with Fields or Lance is much greater just because of just everything they give you from an athletic standpoint and, quarterback potential. So you look at those, I mean, and then for Atlanta, I don't know what they do. Do you go with Kyle Pitts, who might be the best non-quarterback player in this class? Or do you go with, Penei Sewell? Or do you take a quarterback? So it's really going to be interesting. Really, the draft, I guess, starts at 4 now. And we just wait and see. But, everyone really benefited, I think, from the trades. Miami's set up in a great spot. And so is the Eagles. I think they're in a good spot, too, to pick up what they want, whether it be defense or offense.
It's still crazy to me that the first 3 possible 4 could be quarterbacks. You don't give away that many picks. You don't give away like your entire franchise's first for the next 3 years picks to go and get a wide receiver. So you for sure it's going to be a quarterback. You don't know which one it is. And then there's already the rumors of Jimmy G could be getting traded. They want a first round pick. We'll see
Yeah, they're pretty much moving on from Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, the contract is just too much, and they definitely want to see if they can trade him. But I think at the end of the day, they probably release him.
Wow. How the mighty fall, right? You went from Super Bowl, just like minutes away from winning the Super Bowl to now 1 year of bad of injury, and now you're done. 1 year, what it can do to someone. Hell, the Bucs won the Super Bowl one damn year. Speaking of Dan Danello, congrats on your Bucs championship. Absolutely, thank you. It's everyone's championship right now. I mean, I think if you're a Buck fan, Tom Brady fan, you're all happy. But the draft starts at 4. I hope the Falcons just blow it. Let's not be honest. Any NFC South team we're going to root against. But easily they just need defense to me. I don't think Matt Ryan really needs to be pushed out just yet. They're all worried about quarterback. How old is he? 35. He's not even 36, 35 years old. He's probably 36 this year. I know he's not Tom Brady. No one is. But come on now.
Yeah. I think Kyle Pitts makes a lot of sense for Atlanta. I think if that's where they want to go, that would be a heck of a home run pick. It makes sense for the new head coach and his 2 tight end offense. And you can just do a lot of different things with Kyle in there.
He'd be disgusting. I don't want him here.
Right. It'd be hard to guard against, him and Julio and Calvin Ridley. It's very tough.
Yeah. Well, it is. So here's one other thing I wanted to say about San Francisco, them going all the way up to number 3 for a pick. Didn't they just recently sign Josh Rosen to a contract? What the hell's going on with that? Well, why?
Yeah, I mean, they signed him back, but again, he's just third quarterback option right now, and I think he's just a guy. He really is. He's just a guy right now.
I'm being a crybaby. I honestly wanted him to sit behind Brady forever and just learn.
I don't think the Bucs saw enough in him to keep him on the books. Obviously, if they did, they would have kept him. So
we let Cam Brate go and then signed him back. So look how
that was within a week.
We let him go though. That's all it is. I mean, yeah. All right. So I guess
different position.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, but that's the quarterback position. Don't worry about it right now. But eventually, we do need to draft a successor. We don't know how long Brady wants to do this. But let's go on to actually some other Bucs questions here. So Chris, he asked, we should draft O-line and D-line.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's something you have to do every year. It's something you should do, every draft, and invest in your lines, and that's how you build depth. So it's very important to continue to add to the trenches.
So I think if you listen to our channel, we always say this: like, build through the big fat guys up front to back, not the other way around. There's a reason why our front seven's that important. How Vita Vea is, I think we stress that every live stream, every video we kind of make. We kind of touch on why Vita Vea is so important. So, yes, we agree fully. O-line, D-line is where it's at. To me, it matters who's there. I mean, so looking at it with our pick, number 32, no one can give you a wild guess of what it's going to be. You don't know who's going to be there. All you know is that the Bucs are in the greatest opportunistic just chance being able to draft anyone they want, best player available, because they have just about everything filled. They have all starters back. Do we find like a special player like we mentioned earlier, like a Rondale Moore that falls there, or I honestly think we trade back, but best player available could be anything. It doesn't have to be an edge rusher. It doesn't have to be a defensive tackle. It could be a crazy piece that we just don't have yet. Our wide receiver that can play running back, that can get little dumps here and there and can eventually groom into someone, and we don't sign back Antonio Brown. Don't tell Prush P. But I mean, you never know. I mean, you just never know. Oh, actually, before Cannon Fire Podcast is in the comment section, and he's there with me. I'm with you. I know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean,
let's go ahead and address what I blabbled.
No, I mean, yeah. As far as the draft goes, again, the Bucs are in a great position. Bruce Arians talked about it, how he wants to, add more speed to this team. He wants to build up the O-line and D-line depth, and he's looking for a, potential quarterback as well. So it's very intriguing. So they can really go any way they want. First round, I think all options are on the table. You go any position. You could trade up. You could trade down. You could go linebacker, corner. All these positions are available and on the table. So it's a great position to be in. I think I said that quite often over the last couple of weeks. So it's going to be really fun. It's a process that we can really, as fans, just sit back and really enjoy the draft. Like, really no reason to get upset or, anything of that nature during this draft, because Jason Light, he's going to get a very solid player regardless. A guy that loves football, we know that, is going to come in here, and he's going to be a player that can, either contribute down the line, so it's going to be fun to see his kind of approach, if he's going to take more, special talents that maybe not, they're not ready right now, but could be superstars in 2 years from now. So that's going to be fun to see.
Yeah. So, I mean, that brings me to this. So I know there's a whole bunch of other topics up here saying trade down stuff. We'll get to that. But this brings me up to a good point. You just mentioned like drafting a talent that can eventually take over and do something. So Rush P said we should get another Devin White. So there are talents out there at the linebacker position that are just freaks that are running speeds that big guys shouldn't be running. I mean, Jamin Davis out of Kentucky, freak of nature. Like, if Jason Owe doesn't do that, that's Jamin Davis. Like, insane. That size, you can move that fast. The other one is Zaven Collins, also a linebacker. Humongous. He's like 260 pounds, running 4.56. Something similar to that. Like, guys like that, but this guy can cover too. He's like the today's age linebacker, massive back into coverage. And we got these guys coming out. Don't worry, guys. We'll touch on them later. And my favorite, that is a Devin White clone, it seems, a lot skinnier though, is Cam McGrone out of Michigan. He's another one. Blitzer, can use him A-gap blitzes all the time, green dog blitzes. Use him how you may. And those could all be in like second round possibly. So another reason why I almost want to trade back. That kind of brings me back over to Chill Will over here. Trade down, question mark. So do you stay at 32 or do you trade down? I think we've adjusted like a
I've always been a proponent of trading down. I think it's very wise, especially when you can add, more picks in day 2. I think day 2 is like the money rounds. I mean, that's where you can really find solid football players that really builds your team. I mean, you look at most of our team, you look at a lot of the solid players that we have, they're all day 2 picks, second rounders, third rounders, so I'm all for if you can, trade back a few spots and still get a solid football player that you felt, was going to be there early in the second round. Yeah, go for that. And then it gives you more flexibility, to move up if you want to go up and go get someone that's falling, or, say like a Landon Dickerson, who I love. I'm going to pound the table for him. I am. I know he has his injury history, but man, he's a good football player when he's on the field. And, if he's a guy that's there, late second round and you want to trade up and go get that guy, I'm all for that. So yeah, there's just so many options. And even like Elijah Moore, like if Elijah Moore, starts to fall, maybe you go do that, or, there's a lot of possibilities.
If we draft him, you're going to lose your damn mind.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have an Antoine Winfield reaction. It's going to go crazy. I might go outside this time and run around the neighborhood.
Keep the clothes on, though. Okay.
Yeah. No streaking. Nothing to the quad or the gymnasium. We got it.
Your social distance, too. So before we keep going on, let's talk about our sponsor today, Symbol, the stock market of sports. If you guys haven't seen us talk about this just yet, get into this. It's fun. It's cool. What is it? How it works? Find your favorite teams, a la the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you're an NFC South opponent, I'm sorry. You earn win payouts. So if the Bucs win or your favorite team wins, you get 50 cents per share that you have. It's a cool little way of kind of getting your emotional attachment to that team and then earning passive money from it. You're just throwing money into a team and it comes in. And then you can trade them like stocks. It's fun. It's entertaining. I mean, the crazy world we're living in with cryptocurrency and all that type of stuff. I mean, this is kind of what it is. It's similar to it. And then if you want a little bit more information about it, just hit that play button on YouTube. It'll give you a little bit more rundown. I just don't want to show you what I have right now, but it's cool. If you want to sign up to the link below, it should be below. If it's not, we'll get it down there later. Other than that, let's keep talking some Buccaneer football. And
also, guys, speaking of Symbol, be sure to use our promo code Real Bucs Talk when you sign up. It helps us out, and also I believe it helps the fans. I think they get some type of benefit from it if they use our promo code. So yeah, go ahead and use that. I think we'll have to get the link up. We'll put the link up on our social media pages, so we have that there. I'm not sure if it's in our YouTube description, but yeah, we'll get the link to our social media whether it be Facebook group or our Twitter accounts.
Yeah, but it's a cool concept. Cool. I mean, just once you get into it, it's fun. But let's keep talking some Bucs football. So some other questions. Oh, Bud Campus, 24 days to go.
There you go, man. It's coming. It's right around the corner.
It's crazy. And then Danny Danilo, since James White isn't coming, the Bucs definitely should prioritize getting a very good pass catching back. The offense will flow.
Yeah, we talked about that, Danny. Actually, one of our latest draft videos, we go over Demetric Felton out of UCLA. We feel like he could be, maybe the best pass catching running back in this class, and so definitely check out that video, Danny. If you're looking for maybe a potential match for the Bucs, maybe late third round or early day 3, he's a guy that they could target.
Yeah, I think another thing we always talk about, we don't value running backs high at all, especially not first round. If a guy like Najee Harris is there, I would debate it. Special talent, I just don't see him being there. That's why people say, what about running back? I'm like, yeah, if one of those top guys are there, but they're not going to be there, and I wouldn't reach, even for North Carolina's, was it Javonte Williams? Do it. I mean, go lower. I mean, you still got Rojo, Keyshawn Vaughn. If all we need is a pass catcher, go for a little talent like Demetric Felton that you can get later.
Right. And he can also be a benefit, to your special teams. He can do returning. So I think that's something they're looking for. They definitely want to upgrade the special teams unit this year.
I mean, that's the only area you can kind of think of. They don't have a for sure starter, right?
Yeah.
So, and Jason Light always finds ways to draft starters. I've been saying this for years. It's like, don't look at it as, okay, this guy isn't as good as this guy. No, every year he drafts like 2 or 3 starters. I mean, Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield, immediate breakout type players, like huge contributors. Bang, bang. It's just crazy. So a lot of people saying offensive line, defensive line, defensive end. Tom, I want us to draft O-line. We haven't done many O-line videos. We need to. I mean, that's something we need to get on. Jake Denning said, Bucs need to add depth on the O-line and D-line. Again, there it is. They should grab the best available at either position. I'll be sad if they pull Chiefs and draft a running back because they were cocky about Super Bowl. What do you think?
No, I agree with that. What everyone's saying. That's what wins football games. It's about being deep at O-line and defensive line for sure. Especially like people have said, if you have injuries, you want to have people who can step in. Like having Aaron Stinney, stepping in for Kappa last year, that was big. Having a Joe Haig who could play, multiple positions. So stuff like that. Yeah, definitely need to. And I think, we're definitely going to add some more O-line videos. We got some guys that we think could be potential steals, especially on day 3. And there's also some interior players that make a lot of sense. Day 2 late, I think, the Bucs will be looking at. They're always looking at those Division III guys. You look at the guy from Whitewater, Wisconsin. I think that's a guy that they'll focus in on. I think it's Miners is his last name, Quinnen Miners. So that could be a Jason Light pick. How he likes those small school guys. So David Moore, I think, is another one from Grambling. So those are some people to look out for.
Yeah. So we need to do a little bit more research on the offensive linemen just to show you guys what this class is. I mean, there's
Stone Forsythe, that's a big name. Goodness. I love him. Yeah.
Just the name itself, Stone.
Yeah. He's a stone wall.
Right? 6'9", 6'8", 315, Florida Gator. What else could you ask for, right? But Jake's got some good points here. I mean, he's mentioning it's a 17-game season. We need more depth along the lines. I fully agree with that. Then he mentions Tevin Jenkins.
Oh, man. That would be a steal. That'd be a steal at 32. I'm not sure he makes it at 32 because there's a lot of demand for offensive tackles, and Tevin's one of the meanest offensive linemen in this class. I mean, he punishes guys, very physical. He would fit our mold perfectly. That'd be fun.
It'd be great. I mean, I think every Buck fan would like it because all the hate for Donovan Smith. They're like, oh, good. Now we got to replace him. Get him out of here. It's not that simple. Or people say, oh, move him over to guard. He's not going to just move over to guard. He's a left tackle on a Super Bowl championship winning team. It's not like he was terrible on the whole playoff run. He was actually really good. It's just Buck fans think he's always the cause of a sack. I don't know why. Because he is. No, he's not. Okay. So this is a debate Plus and I have had before. So offensive line, if you took it at 32, yes, you're getting extra depth. You're getting the Joe Hague position. Technically, yeah, we did run that jumbo set a lot. I could honestly see it being like a 6 offensive lineman. To me, I'm like, do you warrant an extra lineman for a jumbo specialty package as your first round pick just for looking future? I mean, Jason Light did mention that. I mean, we don't necessarily draft for now. It could be for down the future.
Yeah.
I mean, give your take on like why you think it is a good, important selection for O-line.
Well, I think it's always, again, like the people are saying in the chat, it's always good to, invest into that group. No, it doesn't have to be round one. You got some depth to it in this class. There is some prospects that you could get later. But, if you could get a quality, potential future starter, I wouldn't have any problem with it. Again, it brings competition. And you add a piece that could be, a future starter because you might lose an Alex Kappa or you might lose a Ryan Jensen or, Donovan Smith. I know he just re-signed, so he's not going anywhere. I don't think he's going to be your left tackle until Tom Brady retires pretty much. Right tackle is pretty much set. Ali Marpet's really not going anywhere. So yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends. And that's why I guess I'm bigger on a Landon Dickerson at potentially 32. And I know you say, okay, he's going to fall because of the injuries, and that could be the case. But I just feel like his personality, his demeanor, his character, what he's been through, I think that'd be a home run pick. And same with Tevin Jenkins. I know they've talked with Tevin Jenkins, the Buccaneers have. So, there might be some interest. But yeah, I agree with your point. Again, it's a position where, yeah, he might not play a lot in his first year. And we might have that this year, again, because this team is very deep and it's loaded. I mean, you have a lot of talented players and there's not room. Usually we're drafting and we have an obvious spot where this guy's going to take the starting role right away. That was the case last year with Tristan Wirfs. We knew he was going to be the guy. So it's just something to play out.
So my thing is, like, you can kind of say how Kappa got hurt. He didn't play in the Super Bowl. Aaron Sidney steps in. So a situation like that, like what if Donovan Smith did go out for a while?
Then you have a possible option.
Yeah, because Joe Hague was not it.
No.
Hague was not it. Right?
And that's the benefit of being in this position. You can draft guys where you can add very quality depth where you can just let them sit back, develop, take their time. And, maybe in 3 years from now, they're a hell of a player and they're starting for your team because you have to let go of certain guys because of salary cap. So it's just playing that game. Again, it's one eye on now and it's, 2 eyes on down the road. So and that's why I think like can't rule out like cornerback position because if they find, let's say they really like Caleb Farley and he falls to 32 because of the back situation. And let's say the doctors check out the back and everything looks good. He's going to make a full recovery. That would be a hell of a pick at 32. And you have a potential replacement if Carlton Davis decides to leave, or you just have a potential upgrade over a Sean Murphy Bunting or Jamel Dean. And it could be, something very special.
It is. Again, so at 32, it's so hard to predict. We're just making scenarios of what it would be. Like, would you be mad if this was the selection? Or like
there's going to be a guy that falls and it's like, why is he here? Like, why?
I would not trade up. I would do the just Tristan Wirfs scenario. Let me just trade up one spot, kind of thing, maybe. But I mean, it's just scenarios of offensive lineman. How would you feel? Yeah, in a situation where 17 games, you could have an injury. You have that rookie step in a guard, center position, whatever happens, what have you, you have extra linemen. Defensive line, I would do the same thing. If one of the best defensive tackles are there, I would almost do it. But I think, again, I always say this and it always bites me in the butt. The positional value of how we view a defensive tackle in this defense, or a nose tackle, or just a run stuffer, I think you can get better value bang for your buck later in the draft. Like Bobby Brown's, like Tyler Shelvin's, like guys like that just occupy space. I mean, you don't need to do that first round. So I don't think that necessarily needs to go there. But you never know. Like you said, you can't predict who's going to be there, who's not. But it sure is fun to talk about it. Mm-hmm. Tom said an offensive lineman that can catch. Here's another question. So, do you guys think that the Bucs will keep Gronk? I don't know, Bright SP.
He spelled it wrong. It's okay.
Bright, I think. Yeah. Oh, that's what. Bright. And the injured guy that's returning, his name is escaping me. Yeah, OJ. You think keep them all? They are right now. There's no big salary thing going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, they did it. I thought, Brait was going to be cut. I thought he was going to be the first guy out, but it really just depends like when they need salary cap. If something comes up where they need the cap room, then maybe, he's out the door. But right now I think he's on the team and just play it by ear. Obviously OJ and I think Gronk will be here. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what they do with the tight end position. That's for sure.
I mean, you better not draft one. I'll say that.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Please don't draft a damn tight end.
You never know. Again, if they see an upgrade, they're going to go after it.
EPA.
Yep.
I'm not even going to mention it.
I mean, Tanner Hudson's no guarantee. They didn't bring back Anthony Auclair yet. They don't have I don't know if the McElroy kid's still on the roster or not, but yeah, it's just wait and see. And again, Brait, who knows? You never know.
I mean, they're on the roster right now as of now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to cut Brait just to bring back AB, guys. I know everyone.
Well, that would make what's his name, Podge P. That would make him so happy.
Be on top of the world. It'd be like you if Landon Dickerson got drafted.
Oh man.
Right?
Don't tease me now. Don't tease me.
I'm so excited. But, let's keep going on. So I just literally saw it.
That's cool. Someone was in class with Brait in college. That's pretty cool.
Oh, really? At Stanford?
Yeah.
Really?
No, Harvard.
Harvard.
Even better.
Right. Covitaman said, edge rush depth is the most important for the first round. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I mean, obviously you want edge rush depth, but I wouldn't say don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't say, oh, we got to take an edge defender in round one. Make sure the pick makes sense for you and make sure it's the best thing for your team. Again, the edge class is not great this year. I think it's average. There's a lot of high potential possibilities with the prospects, but again, there's no clear cut. Well, I mean, there's one clear cut, but again, there's question marks surrounding every prospect. So it's just kind of a roll of the dice with the edge class this year and hope for the best.
Well, let's get a couple names in the chat. So guys, if there's a guy you really like in this draft, like who is it? Who's your favorite defensive end? Who's your favorite edge rusher? You're like, damn, I hope the Bucs can get him.
Yeah, who you pounding the table for?
Because to be honest, I mean, all of them could potentially be there because we think Phillips is easily the top of the class. Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, I think Phillips is tier above.
So the thing is, but he could potentially be there because of concussions, because of life after football, stuff like that. Like, you don't know. What is his commitment level? People will take a risk, but because of Gronk's history with concussions, they can be out immediately, or Luke Kuechly concussions immediately in their prime. And a guy that's already had like 3 and he quit football because of it, you're not going to really be like, that's my guy. Boom. But like, let's get some names in the chat. So Bud Campbell said Joe Tryon.
Yeah.
Jason King said Jason Owe. What's funny is that both those guys could possibly be there. Owe, given his athletic freak of nature self? Probably won't, because people will be like, oh, I can mold this. To me, it's like, how can you get 0 sack in a season? I know it was only like 6 or 7 games, but not one. And it's not like they triple teamed him. So I don't know. And they got 5 when they had Gross Matos on the other side, the Panthers fan. Just 5. It's head scratching. I don't know. But Joe Tryon, I really like. I think you saw our film study on Joe Tryon. We really like Joe Tryon, especially if he could be had second round. Holy hell.
Yeah, no, I agree with those takes. I'm a big fan of Tryon. I think he's a good fit for what we like to do. He can play 5 tech, or he can play that, edge, standing up type of, defensive end that Todd Bowles covets. Jason Owe would be, I mean, he'd be a project, but man, he's got a lot of traits that you could work with. Again, he's got all the athletic gifts that you want. It's just about coaching him up and seeing how his skill set, comes together from a pass rush plan. That's really all he's missing, is just a pass rush plan. If he can figure that out and understand how to rush the quarterback, he could be something really good. I think, kind of it's the same thing with Kwity Paye, from Michigan. He's kind of similar thing. But I mean, when he goes after the quarterback and is unleashed, he at least has that ability to turn the corner and make some things happen. But he could be a little bit better from an inside counter standpoint. And it kind of goes the same with, you look at Ronnie Perkins, another guy we looked at, not as athletic, a little more stiff in the hips, but he has some abilities from a pass rush plan where he can win, and has shown he can win. Joseph Asai, I think, makes a lot of sense too at 32. If, I think he'd be cool just because of his, athletic traits and upside as well. He hasn't played a lot of football, so he could be something special down the line.
I mean, there's no complete package, really. I mean, I would say Kwity Paye is probably the closest to it, or Jalen Phillips. Well, I mean, they shouldn't be there when we get. But
I forgot Azeez Ojulari. I mean, that guy is just a technical. Like, he's probably the most polished, I think, out of the whole. One of the most more polished.
I'll say he has a lot of tools to use.
Yeah, long arms.
But he still only has like one move, truly.
Right.
But he's athletically enough; he can probably do anything. I think, Phillips easily has the most moves. We showed like every move there is for an edge rusher: inside counter, spin move, bull rush. He did it all. So it's cool to see him put it on display. And then you see these other guys, and they're kind of doing the same stuff over and over. That's why head and shoulders, he was number 1 on our board. But Joe Tryon, check it out. Joe Tryon, he really is pretty good. He didn't play this year, so you're not really hearing of him. But
he's kind of a 1-year wonder kind of thing. Only really he had a great year in 2019. Fortunately, sat out last year, but definitely check it out. But it's a very interesting edge group. And there's more guys later in the draft that we really haven't, talked about or looked into yet. Peyton Turner is one name that is, generating buzz. And then there's the guys from FSU that, could be something. So there's a lot of different possibilities. Patrick Jones is kind of falling off the radar. He could be a day 3 guy now. So,
Jake Dennings asking Phillips already retired because of concussions. Yes, he did. And he came back to Miami, played 1 year, went off the chain, and literally showed everything all over again. And now he's one of the top prospects in the draft. He could fall, yes, because of the injury history. That's why we kind of mentioned that. It's crazy to think. But I want to move over to defensive tackle, just because a lot of people are talking about how you're supposed to build through up front or line D-line. Well, you mentioned edge within a man, but defensive line, our premise from our defensive scheme is open up the A-gaps. So Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh, they occupy those guys so that Devin White and Levante David can fly in those huge gaps, stop the run. That's why we really value that position so highly. I really think we need to draft the successor of Suh this year, because we don't have it. You can't tell me Khalil Davis is it. You just can't. And Nacho did all right in that position. Did an okay job filling in for Vita Vea, but I don't know if he's that guy. So That's my biggest thing. I think I touched on it earlier. We can kind of take that a little bit later in the draft because to me, in the first round or high second round, I don't think there's a guy there. What is your take on that?
Yeah, defensive tackle class is very weak this year. I wouldn't spend I would probably wouldn't spend a first or second round pick on a defensive tackle, maybe third round, just because it's at the end of third round and you're pretty much round 4 at that point. Um, the guy I would take the highest is probably Bobby Brown, and that would be round 3. And then I'm looking day 3. I'm looking at like Tyler Shelvin. I'm looking at Tonga out of BYU. Really guys that Aleem McNeil maybe. That's another one that could be that guy that could pick up blockers. Yeah, there you go. I wouldn't take him at 32. Marvin Wilson, I think, would be someone that could have potential upside. But again, all these guys, I would take them either third round or later. I wouldn't take them in the top 2 rounds if it's me. It's just a class that really shouldn't prioritize high, especially in our scheme. Again, it's a day 3 pick that I think you could have a lot of success with because it's a guy that just needs to eat up blocks and free things up for other people.
I don't know. I would value Bobby Brown, Marvin Wilson pretty highly. I mean, I would at least third round grade to me.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said third round. I said, yeah, if you could take him in the third round, I'd be okay with that. But I wouldn't take him any sooner. Maybe second round because you're at 64 and that's pretty much a third round pick. Maybe you trade back a couple of spots, picking up, an extra 4th, and you take a Marvin Wilson or Bobby Brown in that scenario. Or hell, take a Kellen Mond and then, trade up and get one of those guys.
Possibilities are endless. But
I know.
I went and saw the Brayton comment. I was in class with Brayton College. He was a nice guy, but he would look at our classmates and rub his belly. I don't know what that means. He also drank Thousand Island dressing out of a red Solo cup in the back of the class. That's disgusting.
I'm not sure how true that is. I don't know.
That is disgusting, but if he did, I guarantee you it's because he's trying to keep his weight up. Get those fats in. Dude's still skinny. Dude probably just couldn't gain weight. I don't know if that's true, but it is hilarious if it is. Let's keep going. Tom has at least another 10 years left in him. Yeah, I hope 10 years.
That's a long time. I mean, with a TB12 and the way he only looks like 28 years old, I wouldn't put it past him. So, be a hell of a. He'd be like, I don't know, those movies where like Joe Montana's playing forever or something. I don't know.
This is a cool little tidbit I heard. So one of my patients, I think it was Friday, said this, that I guess her husband goes to the TB12 method thing, and she saw Alex Guerrero there. And she was asking him, or the husband was asking him, so with Tom Brady, how much does he really value his body and like how much work does he really put in? And I guess Guerrero told him that he literally works on Brady during the season 3 times a day.
Mm.
I don't know if that's in a book or something, but 3 times a day. And it's like using an hour and a half sessions.
Yeah.
You picture that's like 4.5 hours of your day. You're just laying down getting worked on. So you hear about LeBron spending $1 million or whatever on his body alone. Brady's easily doing that or more. That's why he's getting the ability to play 10 more years. Or I mean, it's a joke, but 43 damn years old. He's still kicking.
Yep.
Playing with the best. It's insane to me. Imagine that. Like the attention to detail. Oh, warm me up first. Now let's go. I mean, it's all the damn time. Let's keep going on. That was just a cool little thing I couldn't believe. Bud Cannibal said, I still want to see what Khalil can do. Like, didn't have much of a chance. Well, it's still just 1 year. I mean, small sample, but
yeah.
What's your take on Khalil? Khalil Davis.
Yeah, I think he just needs, again, it'll be good for him to have an off season. Again, he didn't have an off season last year. And I think that development, is critical for his success. Maybe he puts on, gets a little bit more weight to his body and gets in a little bit, maybe a little more leaner. I don't know how he wants to approach it, but, I think if he could put on some more pounds, get some more strength added to help him in run support, I think he could be maybe something because he can really, I think he's got ability to rush the passer. I think that's where they like to use him, especially as a specialist on third down and get a little more speed. Obviously he's an athletic guy, so yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him get more opportunities.
Well, how many opportunities did he have? He had all of one tackle.
Hey, that was a big tackle.
Right? That was a big tackle. So, I mean, the true reason he got drafted, that 4.75 40 he got athletically, 6'1", 300-pounder running that fast as a defensive lineman is pretty valuable. How did they use him? He did get pressures. Let's be honest. The first Chiefs game, he did get a lot of pressures in there. They were doing a lot of stunts inside. He may have not gotten credit for it, but I did see it. I did see a lot of him getting pass rush ability. Could that become something more? Say if he does gain another 10 pounds and he keeps that speed and quickness, I mean, maybe we got something. It's just that 6'1" height. It's just kind of tough. I think he's more of a specialty guy instead of a every down type of player. That's why I kind of worry about that. But I mean, that's why we value Bobby Brown or Marvin Wilson, bigger guys like that can occupy space and still keep getting after the passer. So we also have film studies on them. Go check them out if you want to. And also give us a like button on there. It always helps the channel. Let's keep going on. So Kovinaman back again. I would love a quarterback in the second round to learn under BA and Brady. Is it too high plus, or do you think it's a good spot?
I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, if they really like Kellen Mond or David Mills, I think, those are two guys they could really look at. I'm not sure they'll go Kyle Trask. I don't know if he's kind of the guy they're looking for just because of the arm strength question mark. But, it'll be interesting to see, if they do decide to take a quarterback. BA was hinting that, they're definitely looking at that option.
Oh, so I messed this up earlier I saw it, but I didn't touch it. Campfire Podcast. They're probably not in the chat anymore. He probably left. What's up, guys? You like Jamie Newman at all in the later rounds? What do you think about?
He's interesting. I mean, he had pretty good, decent tape at Wake Forest for that 1 year, and then he transferred to Georgia, and then he decided to sit out. So he's been out of football for almost 2 years. But yeah, he'd be someone that could be sneaky, as a sneaky late round pick. He's got the size and he's got some mobility. He's got the arm strength. So yeah, definitely interesting prospect.
This is my take. Hell of an arm on him. One hell of an arm. 6'4", 230. He had a bad pro day. So the last thing they saw on him, he's trashy. Not good. But he did, like you said, he had some good numbers at Wake Forest. I was anxious to see what his potential was when he transferred to Georgia, because I believe Todd Monken was going to be the offensive coordinator. What Jimmy Newman does well, throw the ball deep. And that's one thing that's all the Bucs do is throw the ball deep.
Yeah. So, he was supposed to take over for Jake Fromm, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, 6'4", 230. Let's see. What was his numbers at Wake Forest? If I can check that up really fast. He had 2,800 yards, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Yeah. That's pretty solid, especially for a Wake Forest team that, usually doesn't have a lot of talent, around them. So that's pretty good.
Bad at all. 60% completion percentage. So I mean, that's kind of low. Never was over. That was the first year over 60%. So that's a big thing to kind of look at, though.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, you look at his accuracy numbers, probably have to look at his charts and see, okay, was his receivers dropping footballs or was he just getting pressured? And, so there's a lot of questions there. But yeah, he definitely has some upside that definitely worth taking a flyer on.
I mean, so that's my point, though. Like Todd Monken, deep developing routes, I wanted to see that, because especially if a guy can throw the ball pretty touch like that and zing it in there, pretty sure BA would like that. But then again, everyone thought Brady and his arm strength, he's not going to make it in this offense. And look what's happening. Pure bliss. Okay. So
yeah, put up the best numbers in a BA offense ever. So,
but the first year they always suck.
Yeah.
Later. Crazy. Well, I mean, it would be very interesting. I mean, that is a guy you could develop, hopefully sit behind and learn. 6'4", 230, big boy. Let's keep going on. Let's see. If we want to take a wide receiver late in the draft. I like Jalen Darden. Is that really tall guy?
No, he's a little shifty guy. He can do returns and pretty good speed. He's from, I think, North Texas, I want to say. But yeah, he'd be an interesting pick for sure.
So Flash Gordon, yeah, we talked about that trade. The Panthers trade for Sam Darnold. Now he's in the NFC South. Poor guy. Top Bulls drafted him his first year, then he got fired. So boom, boom.
Yeah. We touched on some of the other trades that have gone down in the past couple weeks. We talked about the Niners and the Dolphins trades. So kind of just touched, what's going on the latest as far as this draft is shaping up to be. Looks like it's going to be a heavy quarterback, picks early. So it'll be very get your popcorn ready.
Right. We may not even be in the first round. We may trade back. You never know. Other than that, guys, that's our hour. I think we're going to call it right now. Thank you for always being active in the chat. Always fun. I mean, every Monday, and now this is our new. It's going to be 9 p.m. start. I know it may be a little late for some people, but I thought this was kind of fun. It was entertaining. Mm-hmm. We're all ready for this draft, and there's a lot more film studies coming out. If you guys want different ones, hit us up in the chat, comment who you want, or even in the community tab, and just give us a little answer who you want. Other than that, I'll send it out to Pless, and let's go.
Yeah. Again, what Mark said, thank you so much. Thank you for the 24 to 26 people that we had in here. Much appreciated, especially with the college basketball championship on right now. So I know a lot of people probably watching that. But yeah, again, thank you for the support. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And again, thank you. We'll see you at the next one, and go Bucs.